Welcome back to Recoup. Today is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. I'm Sweets. This is Sid. This is our Wednesday weekly check-in where we talk about what we've already delivered and what we're going to be shipping up and until Friday. To kick it off, Sid, what are your thoughts on Sandbox?
So I tried testing it yesterday, then kind of got stuck when it did when I say I got stuck, tested Sandbox, got to the point where I saw files, but there was the double one. You had recommended me talking to the agent to fix it. I tried a couple times to do that. The first time my authentication token timed out. So I had to restart the thing, or restart a new chat, do it again. The second time, it said that it was done, but it didn't fix anything. So yeah, and each one of those, it was just polling for like 10 minutes. So it was, in my experience, difficult to just sit there and wait for the polling to finish. So I would like go and do something else while I was waiting, and then come back and check and whatever. I ended up just going into GitHub myself, downloading the repo, or cloning the repo of the org, and then using Cursor to remove the duplicates. I'm not even using Cursor, just like remove the duplicates manually and then commit that back to the org, so that during the pulse this morning, everybody didn't get duplicate things. I have not checked up on it since the pulse, though, to see if anything changed. So my current experience so far has been that once the file system is good and correct, it's great. It looks like it works. We can start talking to it. The challenging part has been to interface with Recoup chat, to then wait for the polling inline chat, to then do whatever it's doing on the back end, to then deliver me back a message saying I'm done. Like that process has been difficult to have an actual like back and forth with it. But I think it's awesome that there's org repos. I think that's incredible. So now we just got to figure out like, what's next in it. How are you feeling with it? What are you thinking?
1 second. So the big changes are we now have org submodules, and yesterday I was working on adding it to Pulse. So now Pulse runs in a sandbox, and then I ran the Pulse manually, and then I got back that Pulse tried to run, and then Pulse tried to send an email at the end, and Recoup CLI did not have any email sending tools, so it was not able to send those emails. And so this morning I went and built out the docs, the API, and the CLI tool, so that it can send emails. It looks like I'm testing it out right now. My first test today was, well, I started these tests just a couple minutes ago. First test, send me an email, and then it told me that it did not have access to the email tool, and then it tried to send it itself, but I told it to stop. And then I told it to update. First one, it failed because it tried to directly run the npm install command instead of using OpenClaw. I think I should update this tool to not allow a prompt and to always force OpenClaw. Anytime it tries to do an actual bash script, I feel like it doesn't work well, and we want to guide people to using OpenClaw. Then it ran with a prompt instead. It automatically retried that when it saw that it failed, and then it knew to switch over to using a prompt. It did that automatically. And then after I asked for the status, So I don't sit there and have it continue to pull. I think that's just annoying. The UI component already pulls on its own, so it just doesn't pull for me, like spinning up a whole bunch of the duplicate UI component. And then when it finishes, I just tell it status. It runs the check once. It knows that it's finished. And then this time it says that it did update the package. And then I want me to kick off another sandbox to send that progress email. I told it yes. It told me that it finished. So now I'll ask for status again, and let's see if it sent the email. So even though pulses ran last night, nobody got an email about their pulse. So that's what I'm fixing right now is, okay, CLI's notification tool only sends the authenticated, and there's no two flag. Right, that's fine. No, stop trying to send it. Okay. So it seems like it is aware that the CLI has a notification tool, but it didn't do anything because there was no two flag. What was the raw response from the sandbox? So just debugging that right now. And then after that, what I'm going to be working on is still going through the list that we made on Friday. The next one is going to be using the tool for just bash. Right now, anytime you spin up a sandbox, it chains together a whole bunch of installations and skill setup and running skills. Sid has expressed that he wants it to be faster in the response. So we'll use the just bash tool from Vercel and then just send an OpenClaw prompt and assume that the sandbox is all set up, and it'll just run that prompt and then stream the response back. And then that's going to be the fastest we'll be able to do. CLI sends, but no email is configured to the account. Let me try sending directly to the target. It needs to send, and this account doesn't have an email configured. So it's looking for a configured email, and then it's not just calling this is my correct, and that is my email. So it knows my email and it knows my account, but it's not just calling the CLI tool that it could be calling, and then it's saving the file that it was going to send inside of my sandbox. So I should be able to see what it tried to send inside of emails, and I'm not sure if emails probably isn't in the orgs. And so because we're only showing the orgs level, I won't be able to see the file that it's referencing over here inside of the files directory, because Sid said that he wants files to show at orgs level instead of the entire workspace that OpenClaw is managing. So this is an example of that mental model of let's just show them orgs, falling short of representing everything that could be in their file system. If a tool call fails and then the agent decides to just spin up a random file, an HTML file that could be used for an email, we can't see that folder because we have decided to opinionated say, no, we're only going to show the org level directories here. That is my status. Any thoughts or questions?
Yeah, we said for the specific file system there to show the org level stuff, but we did discuss taking the other or OpenClaw administration stuff and just putting it into like showing it in a different place, separating the two places, which we could also, if we separate them, we can also give access to the front end agent to see that as well. When we choose to do that, right? Like, so it just doesn't work now, but I just don't think we've gotten there yet. And then we have to really decide. The question becomes like, how much do we want to give to the front end agent? Do we want it to have access to the tools, or do we want it to call a sandbox all the time and let OpenClaw do its thing?
More for me to be able to review. In this case, I don't know that the front end needs to have that context, but I just saw in its response, it said, you have a file here. And so I tried to go over to my files to see the file so that I could show you what it was going to send if the tool worked. And I got stopped because I couldn't see that file.
So I wonder if there's a way
for somewhere else, not urgent right now. Just each action produces information. And so now we have decided to curate the files shown to only orgs. As a result, this is the place I am in as the power user of sandboxes, is I can't see the file that it's telling me exists in the sandbox.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Is there a quick fix where you can, like, similar to how in Mac, if you press like Shift O, it shows system level folders, but if you don't press, or I don't know if it's Shift O or Shift period or whatever the thing is, but like anything with a system level file like isn't shown to the user unless they turn on that command. Maybe that's an option, an easier option where it's just like hide them, but you have the option in your settings as a developer to turn on show all.
Yeah, we could do a toggle or a button or something like that on the files page.
Simple, so hide it from user, but show if need be. Then that way you can debug quicker or see it quicker. Because I do think that over time, when adoption happens, like it will be good to be able to see and curate the soul.md and understand, but until users understand that, or we have some kind of onboarding process to walk them through it, the file system will get very intimidating very quickly with things that they don't recognize.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. So next steps for you on Sandbox, how are you feeling about it?
CLI so that the Pulse can notify, so that tomorrow everybody that's got a Pulse gets notified about it. Let's see who's got a repo now. So who was running Pulse and who got... These are your orgs, I take it. Haystack, Pros, yeah. 10th Street. So it looks like we have 2 Sydney Swifts with different account IDs. So just be aware, it looks like you have multiple.
Yeah, one of them is my Sydney +1 email. One of them is my regular Sydney at Recoup. Both of the Sydney +1 account has more orgs than the other one.
I'm not seeing anything in here for Alexis, so it looks like Alexis is not enabled, has not opted into Pulse. If we want Alexis to get set up, and our current mental model is people need to opt into Pulse, I need her to come over and opt into Pulse. That way her Sandbox gets set up automatically. It seems like she has not sent any prompts related to setting up Sandbox, and unless you have a different mental model for when Sandboxes should get set up, but the current mental model we have is Pulse is what sets them up and manages them.
Can we run a Pulse? Like if we just automatically turn on Pulse for everybody and then it runs tomorrow, will it automatically set up everybody's orgs for them?
Yes.
Should we do that?
How
are your feelings about it?
I might be wrong, but I don't think you've tested Sandboxes enough to be able to say how high quality Sandboxes are. Until you have tested at the same level that I have, I think you need to have better awareness of what Sandboxes are doing. So until you've done that, I don't think we should move forward with this. I think it's very important that you are aware of what Sandboxes can do. And I don't think you're in a place to know that yet.
So today my plan is to move over my local Gatsby Grace folder that I've been working in, that I mirrored our like the Sandbox skill out of, or the setup artist skill out of, and move that over to Sandbox to the Gatsby Sandbox in Recoupable. There are 2 options. One is like using it from the Recoup chat and just kind of providing it files and saying, add this to Gatsby or whatever. Another way is saying like in email. How do you suggest I test Sandboxes with this use case of like, I'm trying to bring all of the information I have about this artist, the project, the release, everything around this one artist, testing Sandbox with it. Are there any, what can I do to give you the most signal for Sandbox? Is it recording the entire interaction for what I'm doing and giving it to you? I want to make sure that as I do this, I give you the most signal.
Either email or chat. The one thing I don't recommend you do is clone the GitHub repo locally, because none of our customers are going to clone their GitHub repo locally.
Yeah, that defeats the purpose of like what the interface that we're building. I agree with that. I agree with that. So it's like, use this to I am a customer. I have no idea what GitHub is. I have a bunch of files on my computer about this artist and the release and the songs and everything. I have some emails from the artist. So like everything exists outside of Gatsby Grace's sandbox and Recoup. I'm going to try today to get Recoup all that context and just document my experience if I succeed or fail and where I do it and why.
That would be very helpful.
A lot of videos.
Good.
Okay.
And I'll focus today on making it so that the front end chat uses just Bash, so that way you get fast. You can send faster communication between the chat and the sandbox.
Should I wait until you do that before I start testing? Because I feel like, is that going to be a big differentiation between my experiences?
That's a you call. I'm plugging away at the list from Friday. I have asked you multiple times to please test. However long you want to delay, you can.
No, I can start testing. I just want to make sure it's going to be signal if I test it all and then it gets over there, or it doesn't, and then we change it. Okay, cool. All right, what am I working on? I've been working on, so on Friday, I have a demo day of Gatsby Grace. Her album comes out, and then for this accelerator thing, we're doing a demo day to show it. So I've been working on just like that demo day presentation of her. I'll give you a quick showcase of what that looks like while I'm here. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. Let me stop sharing and then share with audio. Oh, yeah. No, but that's audio. Also share tab audio. How do I share? System audio. Boom. There we go. So working on like an intro video, which I have to still fuck with, but oh, where is it?
Hi, I'm Gatsby. I play the piano and write songs from right here in my bedroom. I make songs.
So I'm still working on the intro and the YouTube stuff, but basically like building out like a vlog style template for content. And the concept is like, once I have this, the workflow down of how we're doing it, what models we're using, how we're passing the last frame to the first frame, etc., and then turning that into like a template for the content pipeline. And then also working on a music video template as well, so that we can like, in this scenario, just like talk about an idea, provide a song, and then it reads the lyrics, comes up with a script, generates a bunch of images and shots, and then puts it all together, edits it, etc. So like these are the two things, because I need to present on Friday the intro video of her welcome video, and then like the music video. So just been working on these two kind of simultaneously, and then also her website, which I'm trying to figure out, because I wanted to put SyncStream on it, but SyncStream is a little buggy since we haven't like, you know, maintained it for a while. So I'm going to probably end up either fixing it or pivoting to something simpler and for the time being. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, just kind of getting ready for the release, and then trying to move everything that I've been doing locally with the release into Recoupable today. Because ideally, I stopped using Cursor to manage the overall release. I use Recoupable. Is like the next step is, how do we get it from a place where I'm doing this locally? The one thing that I'm realizing, there was like a lot of the like workflow stuff, I'm still going to have to go, like it requires a lot of back and forth with Cursor or Cloud Code or whatever I'm using. And like, so that's why I'm thinking like the faster we get the response back to the user, the easier it will be for me to use Recoupable for also the workflow implement. No, never mind. I'm not going to use the workflow implementation to build the templates and stuff. So yeah. Long story short, by Friday, Sandboxes is at a place where you're happy with it. Sandboxes has an artist with a bunch of stuff in it, and we're starting to launch a song and watch how can Recoupable and Claude and a Claude bot manage a release and give us ideas of how to grow fan bases and do cool things. Hey.
Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you on Friday for our end of week